Oh, let me fix this. There we go. All right. Greetings, everyone, from the library cave. I am Aspen Dracaena, your friendly neighborhood Ice Dragon Bookwyrm VTuber. I think it's good right now that I have stream elements telling me right away what I am playing so I can fix my, my stream info. Yay, that's very helpful. Okay, so today is Friday, and I am just gonna continue with Final Fantasy.
Hello there.
Hi, Gaskbin, how you doing? I hope you're having a good week and a wonderful Friday. I had a very busy day at the Dragon Doctor's office. I'm not sure what was going on, but, yeah, it was a busy day. It was a very busy day. I am ready to unwind. Okay, I'm just gonna go straight over here. Yeah, so the Game Awards last night, that was really cool. Like, I wasn't as excited about who won or who lost as much as seeing all the, previews for new games. I am definitely looking forward to a couple. I think I posted about it. Witcher 4 looks great. It looks gorgeous. But I was reading up on it, and their plan is maybe it might not even come out next year. It might come out the year after that because it's still in production, which is fine. I'd rather they take their time to make a good game than to rush something. You know, I think a lot of developers rush games when they really shouldn't, especially when they're games that are really heavily require a lot of art and design and stuff. I'd rather just have a good game. And I know there are people out there who complain, but me personally, I can wait. I think people need to learn a little patience. You know, maybe, again, because I'm an old dragon, I can wait. I know how to wait for things. But maybe other people need to learn that too. So it was that, Witcher 4, and the Okami sequel. Oh my gosh. So, just so you guys know, next week I am planning on playing Okami because when I first debuted, I was debating playing it instead of Smushy Come Home. I ended up playing Smushy Come Home instead, of course, which I loved. But I'm planning next week on playing Okami because I have been dying to play that game. I have never played it. I think it is absolutely just stunning and probably right up my alley. So, yeah, it's been a long time since the original one. I have, of course, the PC Okami HD version. But, yeah, I love games like that where it feels like its own, like, original piece of art. It's not just a game, it's art. And I think sometimes that's what goes missing from a lot of AAA games. They try so hard to be perfectly realistic and have all this stuff in it. And it's like, you know, sometimes the best games are not the overcomplicated ones. Sometimes they're the ones where you have some quality of it that may be really strong, you know, even if the rest of it may not look a certain way or whatever. You play to the strengths. You don't push your team so hard to make something that is almost unrealistic to make. You know, most people I know these days, like, you know, they'll play the AAA games, they'll love the AAA games, but most people I've watched streams of, they're playing the indie stuff. The indie stuff is good, you know, and it's not as rushed, and it tends to show a lot more creativity from the people who create it, because they're not limiting themselves into, you know, that narrow, you know, thing that so many, you know, it's the same problem with movies, really, and publishing even. It's the people in charge are so focused on making money that they're not taking the right risks. And the great thing about indie games is they will take the risk, and the risk will pay off. Like, think about Phasmophobia was made by one guy, and look at how popular it got. It was just made by one guy, and it became huge. You know, you gotta allow to take risks, and risks sometimes aren't about, you know, pushing the boundaries of graphics. Sometimes it's about telling a really interesting story, or, you know, doing something that helps people connect over a game. You know, you don't have to go overboard. You just need to find a good niche. So, you know, while I will always respect a decent AAA game, I don't want it rushed. You know, there's no point. Let's put out something that's good from the get-go. You know, little adjustments can be made, but, you know, you don't want huge mistakes happening when you release a game too early. You know, good things take time. So, all right, let's log myself in. I'm sure there will be a waiting period. Yep, there's a queue. But yeah, it's yeah. So I'm excited, particularly about those two games, Okami and Witcher 4. Yeah, I know there were some issues with CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk, and eventually things were all corrected and everything, of course. But you know, hopefully they learned from that experience, and they'll, you know, take the time they actually need for the game. All right, so what was I doing? Okay, I have the dungeons achievement to do. No thank you to the lodestone. There's some recommendations here. Alright, I need to speak with Fancred. So, last time was nice, because it felt like there was a whole story sequence that we went through in this game last time. So, hopefully maybe we can have something like that today. So, here, let me see. We're all set up. We're good. Reputation. Oh wow, I've had a lot of commendations. People are lovely. Okay, let's see. Let's go talk with Fancred. Oh my gosh, what happened here? I don't want to walk on the dead people. Ah! There you are, Aspen. Come, rest a while. You will have no better opportunity. After witnessing their god's ignominious defeat. That's a fun word. Oh, hi! There we go. Okay, so my free company is around. Alright, let's see. Come rest a while. You will have no better opportunity after witnessing their god's ignominious defeat. The Amalja will be less inclined to risk our wrath, for a time at least. Now, where were we? Ah yes, I was in the process of apologizing. I do hope you can forgive me. I arrived to be too late of any use to you or the abductees. They may be whole of body, but the same cannot be said of their minds. For once a man is tempted, or tempered. Ah, but it ill suits me to dwell on the negatives. Amidst our misfortunes, there is still reason to rejoice. Ifrit is slain, and by your hand, no less. That was awesome.
Hello there.
Hi, Ella. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. That is a deed of no ordinary individual, Aspen. Not that I ever thought you were ordinary. On the contrary, I have long suspected that you have the potential to shape the fate of this realm. What can I say? My fine eye for talent remains undimmed. Minfilia will be proud beyond all reckoning when she heard... Oh boy, my mouth is tired today. Let me try that again. Minfilia will be proud beyond all reckoning when she hears of your deeds. I trust you shan't object to my bearing the tidings to her. That way I can claim to have contributed something to this mission. Oh, no, Thancred, you did a lot. You, meanwhile, have earned yourself a rest. Take some time to relax and return to the waking sands when you are good and ready. We can discuss matters in more detail. Then, just don't take too long, will you? The realm's problems won't solve themselves. Okay, it looks like my free company is meeting up. We have a free company house now. So, here, I want to look at something here. Can I go there? I can. Hi, hi guys. Should I go to the free company house? It looks like I can. That would actually be kind of cool. So, here, let's go. Yeah, that's so awesome, Stat. All right, let's see what the free company house is like. I would love to see it. Oh my gosh. This is exciting. Yay. We have a house. Here, let's see. Oh wow, this is so cool. Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you for subscribing, Stat. This is so neat. I'm actually really excited. So we have our own little, like, mailbox and everything. Which this guy looks tired. Okay. Very cool. It's nice. It's like having our own little neighborhood. And there's stuff back here. Looks like we have our little storage. With some flowers. We've got a swing. Oh yeah. Definitely. Oh, can't I... There, can I stand on this swing? Okay. I give up. Alright. Walk around the house. It looks very cozy from the outside. There's some mounts over here. They are cute. Look at those guys. Look at those chocobos. They're so fashionable. Okay. Let's go inside. Oh, I guess I can sit, but... Oh, wow. You know, it's not fully furnished yet, but this is a great place to start. So there's a mender, a materia supplier, Okay. I am winning. It's not in the main. Okay. La da 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 da. There's a pool table. A little bar. Wonder if they can make me some matcha tea. There's an ale tap. There's more ale. Okay. A nice place to sit. Let's see what's upstairs. Oh. I used to be a barista, so I can definitely make you matcha. That would be awesome. I actually like to make my own matcha lattes with almond milk because I'm kind of sensitive to dairy. But I ran out of... No, actually, I have matcha again. I do have some matcha because I bought some to make a matcha cheesecake for Thanksgiving. This area is so cute. This is definitely my kind of place right here. All the books. I think this may be more books than I have, but I have almost as many. All right, and then let's see. So there's additional chambers over here for oat. Oat is nice because it's very neutral tasting. I think sometimes, like, almond milk does have a specific taste to it. And oat is a little more neutral, so sometimes it can be a little bit easier for people. Yeah. Purchase private chambers. Oh, I do. No, I have enough gil. Move to specified private chambers. Move to the company workshop. Let's see. Okay. Oh my. What is this place? What an interesting place. Okay. I love how, like, this game in some places will be so... They'll be so, like, medieval, and then you'll see all this technology, and it's like, wait, what? This is cool. Leave the company workshop. Yes. So, what I'm guessing... Oh, what is this over here? It's a jukebox. Orchestration. And then I'm guessing we can put stuff in here to share with everybody. So, like... like maybe if I want to put some potions in there for people to share, or crafting materials. So yeah, I could probably share some crafting materials if I wanted to. Okay, let's see. Right. At some point, I'm probably going to have to go through my items anyway and sell a few things because I have, or store a few things. Okay. Marble City. Okay. That's, oh, on the desk in the room you are in, there's a bell for your retainers to summon the S station. Okay. Alright, I don't have a retainer yet, but I know that's something I can get. So the bell here. Yeah, I don't have a retainer yet. Which I feel like should be on my list of things to do, is to get a retainer. Okay, this is really cool. And this here, that's the crystal bell. Okay, esthetician. Okay. There's a junk monger, a material supplier, materia melder. Okay. I definitely still have a lot of stuff to learn about this game. But this is cool. I love the scarecrow over here. That's hilarious. Okay. Well, let's go. Wait, what's up here? Oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. I love it. This is my kind of place too. Oh my gosh, we have a library and a telescope, a little stargazing spot. Oh my gosh, how cute is this? That is awesome. And a little picnic area. Now, I thought I saw another door back here somewhere. Oh, here we go. Okay, that is not openable. But gosh, this all looks so cute. Oh my goodness. It's like if Hobbiton and Lothlorien mixed together. That's what it feels like to me anyway. Well, you know, maybe I should work on my green thumb. I learned from, you know, working on a farm. I can help us have some nice garden stuff maybe. Okay. Alright, so I am going to go back so I can continue my mission. So let's see. Wait. Return. Wait, where was I? I was in... Wait. Fanlin. Was that in Blackbrush Station? No. I want to teleport. There we go. There we go. Alright. I'm going to continue working on leveling up. I'm halfway to 70, so that's good. Okay. Where is my task? And where am I? Donde está mi? Wait. I always need like a few minutes to get myself oriented in just about any game. Oh yes, I know what we're talking. Okay, that's over the Waking Sands. Okay. Okay. Waking Sands. Let's go hire a chocobo. Oh, this area. Did I touch this one? Cancel. I must have. Okay, yeah, especially because I was able to go there. Okay. Alright, brain works. Yes. Ah, do not tell me this is your first visit to the stop. I shall update my register with your name so that you may access this location in the future. Hire a chocobo. Uda. Yes? Wait, no. Yes. Okay. La la la. The chocobo music cracks me up. Alright, there's a camp over there. That's interesting. Spineless basin. Alright, so I'm at Ulda. And I need to go to the Waking Sands. So this is where I am right now. Wait, Horizon? Oh, I'm here in Ulda. Okay. Oh wow, check this guy out. He looks fancy. Do I hire another chocobo? Oh, you can just rent a chocobo and take it wherever, I guess. Interesting. Yeah, maybe I'll wait on that. I have not wandered around very much around here. Flustered attendant. Okay, that will take me someplace else. North. I need to go west. So I'm not going to want to go southeast when I need to head west. Rental chocobos. Upon reaching level 10, you will be allowed to rent chocobos from stables across Aerzea. Chocobos can be used for speedy transport to areas which are not readily accessible via Etherite. While riding, you have complete control over the chocobo until you either dismount, enter deep water, or are attacked, or the rental period expires. Yep. Got it. La la la. Yeah, I really didn't look around here very much, so might be nice to walk around a little bit first. Silver nettle. Well-heeled youth. Wymond. Ooh, clothes. Can I buy clothes? Purchase battle gear. I mean, these are all nice things. Velveteen robe. I mean, I can... But what do they look like? Can I try them on? Huh. You know, I'm gonna wait on this for now, but it's cool to know that this is an option.
Hello there.
Hello there. La 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 la. Okay, there is more chocobo over here somewhere. Oh, over here. Or no? Do 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 do. Huh. Okay. Okay. Oh, I see. Interesting. Okay. Hall of Flames. Interesting, interesting. Emerald. Okay. Alright. Oh, look. West. The direction we want to be going in. Perfect! We can just wander around a little bit, I think. I think that would be nice. I haven't played since last time, so it'll be nice to stretch my legs a bit and reintroduce myself to the area. Okay. A striking dummy. Or 12. Okay. It's nice to be playing a game where the environment is absolutely not snowing like it is around my house constantly these days, unendingly. Here, let's join a fate. Let's do it. Let's do it. Level sync. Hammerbeak's causing local settlers a great deal of lost sleep. Okay. Oh my gosh. Died like instantly. Oh, well, I guess I'm pretty powerful at this point, comparatively. Yeah, this is nothing. Look how big they look, and they're really, you know, they're not really doing me any harm. Let's see. Any more? Oh, it's done. Woot woot. Okay, let's see. La da dum da dum da da. Let's, you know what, let's take the road. Wait, 'twas I poisoned. The spirit bond with spirit bond. Okay. We'll take the road. Oh, it's great, Acrosis. It's good to see you. Alright, let's see if I can get around this whole area. Yes, yes I can. Lovely. Alright, wait a moment. So, where am I comparatively? I'm over here. Okay. Cool, cool. Alright. So yeah, what I've been dealing with lately, what a lot of people in my area have been dealing with lately is it's been snowing so much. It's like the snow was about 3 weeks later than usual, and it was like the sky was just saving it up so that it could dump it on us every day for the past week or so. And we did have some rain on Wednesday, so it melted some of it, but you know, then it got cold again, and so everything was icy. So yeah, we've all been kind of struggling with the weather. You don't miss snow at all? Yeah, it has a charm to it. No. I'm just gonna keep going. It has a charm to it, but that charm doesn't last for longer than a couple months. Maybe 3 months. And after that, you're like, oh my god, I just wish it would be gone. I think the thing that's harder for me is the fact that it gets so dark early. Yeah, snow is nice on the other side of a window. I can definitely agree with that. Okay. So I still have this idea in my head that someday I would like to do. Which, because I live across the street... Oh, it all got melted? So, because I live across the street from a cemetery, I've been tempted to one day, or over a series of days, just make a whole bunch of snowmen facing the direction of the cemetery. I just thought that would be hilarious, and maybe I could just freak people out by thinking, oh my god, the snowmen, they're haunted. Oh look, it's a scion of the Seventh Dawn. Ah, the triumphant hero returns. I feel that I spent 12 years in upstate New York, and with the fact that I worked in a basement vault, I could literally go weeks without seeing the sun. Yeah. I completely agree with you there. It's so when I work at the dragon doctor's office, I'm usually there from like, you know, early mid-morning until 2 hours after the sun goes down. So if I'm lucky, I'll go outside on my lunch break and get a little bit of sun, but who wants to be outside when it's that cold too? So, you know, it's frustrating. But we're getting almost to the solstice, so it's going to start getting light again soon. It's just not fun. Okay. The triumphant hero returns. Thancred told us the news upon his arrival. He is presently in the Solar, giving a full report to Lady Minfilia. You should join them at once. Lady Minfilia is most eager to see you. It's dark at 5 a.m. when I went into work, and it's dark by 3 when I leave, and we were like 10 miles from anything. So I just brought lunch and ate in the break room. Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally, I relate. I relate. I lived for a little time in the Netherlands during the summer, and oh my gosh, the sun would like go down at midnight and come up again at 4. It's like, how are you supposed to sleep? I can't imagine what it's like in the winter there. Okay. Let us go join Lady Minfilia with the questionable fashion sense. My late arrival nearly cost Aspen her life. I wasn't there when Amalia took her prisoner. And I wasn't there when they served her to Ifrit. Yes, by some miracle she survived, but that does not excuse the fact that she should never have had to face such dangers alone. I failed her utterly. Just as I'm failing you all. Be kinder to yourself, dude. You were somewhat helpful. What's done is done, Thancred. You can ill blame yourself for every... Aspen, it is so good to see you again. Impeccable timing, my friend. I have just finished regaling Minfilia with your heroic exploits. Thancred has told me everything. You have done well to return to us. The perils you faced were undeniably great, yet a part of me believes that I had no cause to fear, and now we can put paid to our long investigation. As we suspected, the Amalia undertook both the robbery and the abductions with the aim of summoning their primal, Ifrit. Nor is this tale limited to Ul'dah. Similar incidents have been rife in both Limsa Lominsa and Gridania of late. I dare say you've been curious as to how these crimes are linked to the primals. Permit me to explain. Blackout curtains are helpful. When I sleep, I use an eye mask. It helps me sleep better. Oh, you missed the snow, 'cause yeah, I was talking with somebody about this recently. You know, I spent much of my life in California, on coastal California, so I got used to more weather rather than seasons. But seasons are nice. Like, I think, living in New England, autumn is just gorgeous here. You don't have anything like that on coastal California. I think it's one of the most beautiful seasons, and you miss out on it on the coast. So, there's pluses and minuses to anywhere you live. Okay. Let's see. I dare say you've been curious as to how these crimes are linked to the primals. Permit me to explain. Having manifested in the physical realm, primals must consume ether, and stop clicking on the buttons, hands. Now, ether exists throughout creation. It flows through all life and permeates the very air that we breathe. Alas, this alone will not suffice to sustain the likes of Ifrit. Nay, he and his kind require a more concentrated source of ether, crystals. It is for this reason that incidents involving crystals can often be tracked back to a primal. Which leaves us with the why of the abductions. To understand this, you must first understand how primals are born. When all is well with the world, primals possess no physical form. Their essence is dispersed across the great river of ether. However, when the world is plunged into chaos, those who worship the primals cry out to their gods for deliverance from suffering. These cries serve as a beacon toward which a primal's essence is irresistibly drawn. It is this coming together, or etheric coalescence, which grants the being's physical form. Once born, a primal gains strength from its followers' worship. The more numerous and fervent they are, the more powerful their god becomes. But the primals are seldom satisfied with such reverence as their adherents freely give, and in order to gain more power, they do not scruple to create followers. They do this by tempering mortals, a process to which you yourself were subjected. Yet even as Ifrit took your comrades in his thrall, you alone remained unaffected. This is thanks to the power you possess, the Echo. We know not the why of it, but those blessed with the Echo are immune to primal influence. It is as though a greater power protects us. When you first came to us, I told you that the Echo would be instrumental in dealing with the primal threat. I trust you now begin to see why. The recent incidents all share a common trait: meticulous planning. Such elaborate designs are a new development, and one which fills me with an unshakable sense of foreboding. While I share your concern, my presiding feeling is one of relief at your safe return. Ah, the immortal flames assured me that they will deal with the aftermath, so you need not concern yourself with that. We may rest easy for a time. I suggest you take full advantage of the respite, Aspen. You may be sure it won't last long. Once the people learn the identity of the hero who felled Ifrit, I fear you will have nary a moment to yourself. Okay. Whether she intended to or no, Minfilia neglected to tell you something. Something I think it would be best you heard from one of us. It concerns the tempered abductees that were rescued. I am sorry to report that all are to be put to death, the flames with whom you were imprisoned included. Needless to say, this information must not be made known to the public. Ooh, that's kind of scary. So they're all to be put to death because they were tempered? I swear to you that we would not do this if there were any other recourse, but once a man is tempered, he is tempered for life. His very existence lends strength to the primal whom he cannot choose but worship. And so we scions continue our fight, that no more innocents need be sacrificed. I hope that you will continue to stand with us, Aspen. Interesting. But I should be going. I must offer my apologies to the Flame General for the losses his people suffered. Till next time. So, there's some risk in this story. Gods forgive me. How many more lives? Louisoix would never have allowed this to happen. I have to do better. I have to be stronger. Alrighty. I obtained some things. A pair of Dawn wrist guards in my armory chest. Armory chest. Okay. Alright. Ears. Neck. Wrists. I have 2 copper wristlets. Dawn wrist guards. Okay. Alright. Alright, well, let's talk to Minfilia again. Of the questionable outfits. I just feel like they don't match properly. Her pants don't match the top. It just kind of bugs me a little bit that they don't the pants don't seem to match the top. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Minfilia is wearing a wry smile. Might it have something to do with your newfound fame? Uh-oh. What is going on? Until not so very long ago, you were but one of the many adventurers seeking to make their way in Eorzea. Or Eorzea. Eorzea, blah, blah, blah. But for your character and courage, you were raised to the esteemed post of envoy. Thereafter, you traveled the realm, aiding those in need without thought of reward, confirming to Ishtola that the Scions would benefit from your aid. And no sooner had you joined us than you personally bested the Primal Efreet. You have achieved a great deal in a short time, and won fame in so doing. Alas, fame does not come without a price, as you will soon discover. We have guests, Aspen. Or rather, you have guests. I could never remember her name when I first started playing, so I called her Tiz. Yeah. I feel like, okay, like if her sleeves were the same pink, or if they had some of this more maroon or burgundy color from the pants, I think that would look a lot better. I would not mind that. It's just that the lavender just sticks out. I don't know. I have guests, I suppose. Beg pardons? Okay, it looks like there's an ad starting soon. Ah, Lady Minfilia, radiant as always. He has a crush on her. I am given to understand that the Scions of the Seventh Dawn have but recently welcomed a new hero into their midst. He does not. I am here on behalf of the Maelstrom Grand Company of Limsa Lominsa to offer said hero a place of honor within our ranks. He's just really enthusiastic. As you can see, Aspen, your recent exploits have garnered you the attentions of the Grand Companies of Eorzea. Each organization would have a Freet's Bane for its own. To this end, all three have sent officers to court you. Okay. They would not ordinarily go to such lengths to enlist a new recruit. That they have is evidence of their high regard for you. I find myself wondering how word of Aspen's deeds spread so quickly. That the immortal flames should know of her triumph is to be expected. But what of the other grand companies? Eep! Tataru. Your reputation precedes you, Miss... Blah, 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 blah. The Order of the Twin Adder has need of valiant women such as you. Join your strength to ours, friend, and together let us ensure that peace ever reigns over the Twelves Wood. What a pleasure it is to finally meet you, Mistress Dracaena. Or Mistress Dracaena. I can't even say my own name. Mistress Dracaena. This game is screwing me up. There's too many unusual words. My comrades speak of you in the most glowing terms. A woman of your talent belongs with the immortal flames. Join your strength to ours, friend, and together let us secure a prosperous future for Ulda. The Admiral was not exaggerating when she said you have the look... He is enthusiastic. When she said you had the look of a hero. Full often does she speak of you, friend. As do many others in Limsa, long before the rest of Eorzea took note, your name was well known to us, owing to your valorous deeds on behalf of our citizens. It is only natural that we should want you for the Maelstrom. Join your strength to ours, and together let us see the grand vessel of Limsa Lominsa to the shores of our glory. Blah, 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 blah. How am I supposed to choose? Lady Minfilia. Very well. Though I am quite sure you need no reminding, mayhap a brief summary of the situation could help to clarify your thoughts on this matter. As you know, the Grand Companies are all-encompassing organizations empowered to call upon the martial economic and technological resources of their respective city-states in times of strife. There are presently 3 such organizations in Erzea: the Maelstrom of Limsa Lominsa, the Order of the Twin Adder of Gridania, and the Immortal Flames of Ulda. Oh, the break starts. Here. Why don't I stop for a moment and get a snack? Okay. So I'll stop here, since this is in the middle of a storyline thing. And I'm just going to run and check something, and I'll be right back. Because I don't want to tell too much story in the middle of an ad break. So I'll be right back. All right, we're back. All right, let's continue. There are presently 3 such organizations in Erzea: the Maelstrom of Limsa Lominsa, the Order of the Twin Adder of Gridania, and the Immortal Flames of Ulda. I'm guessing I'm going to have to choose between these 3. Serving a grand company means serving the nation to which it belongs. You will be charged with its defense and tasked with advancing its cause. Okay. In return for your faithful service, you will be furnished with various rewards, some of which may well prove useful to you in your other endeavors. If you are agonizing over which of the Grand Companies best deserves your loyalty, be at ease. The commitment you make this day need not be permanent. Well, that's helpful. Should you wish to shift your allegiance at a later date, you are entitled to do so, and yet I can see that it is no small choice you face. Ah, a thought occurs to me. You will of course recall that the 3 city-states are planning to hold remembrance services. Well, as part of the proceedings, I am given to understand that the leader of each Grand Company will deliver an address. Hearing these addresses ought to help you make an informed decision. What say you, my dear officers? A fine suggestion. You are as wise as you are beautiful, my lady. Very well. Let Aspen hear our leader speak, then return here with her decision. We eagerly await your answer. I love how each of them have a different bow. Wait, why is she disappointed? I know full well that adventurers are by their nature a liberty-loving breed, and not best suited to the discipline of military service, but I strongly urge you to join a Grand Company nonetheless. While the promise of reward is enticing in itself, it is not the only benefit. You are possessed of great power, Aspen, and with it you are capable of doing untold good. Yet know that great power is wont to attract attention, not all of it friendly. There will be those who wish you ill, and you must needs be on the lookout for them. Yet, however vigilant you are but one woman. In the midst of a Grand Company, however, you will be one woman against many, a friend amongst friends. Your achievements will be shared, and so will the danger. I can think of no better arrangement. A lot of us are flames, but it is all your choice. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Of course, joining one organization need not mean leaving another. I hope that we can continue to rely upon your aid. The 12 know that we will have need of it in the days ahead. The Grand Companies seek to protect their own nations. We Scions, on the other hand, seek to preserve the future of Erzea as a whole. Similar, yet not quite the same. Now then, I expect that you will be afield more often in the future. As such, I would have you carry this link pearl with you at all times. It will allow us to stay in touch regardless of location. Erzea is changing, Aspen, and you have the power to help shape it anew. None can say what the morrow will bring, but so long as we believe in ourselves, there is naught we cannot achieve. Now it is time you made ready for your journey. Before you depart, be sure to speak to Tataru. She will apprise you as to where and when the remembrance services are due to take place. Okay. Speak with Tataru. Alright. Okay, so I'm gonna look at this for a sec. No, wait. There. Recommended gear. Equip. Alright. Perfect. Okay, speak with Tataru, who is upstairs. Alright. You guys can chill. See you around. Yes, Solar. All right. Do I go upstairs? Wait, which way is she anyway? Exit to Vesper Bay. But wait, no, I need to speak with a small friend. A little potato, as it will. Oh. Have I not been in here? Or maybe I have. Yeah, I think I might have. Where is cute small potato? She's up the stairs when you exit. Ah, right. Tataru. Oh, that's cute. Look how she's standing on the chair. Oh, I missed that. Anyway, I expect you want to know where the remembrance services are taking place. If all goes to plan, Gridania's Grand Company, the Order of the Twin Adder, will hold the first of the 3 services, and Elder Seed Seeker Kan Isena will deliver her address at Miketo's amphitheater. I should probably mention at this point that due to the organizational challenges involved in assembling all of the involved parties, it's possible that the order of the services might change. Still, there's not much we can do about that, so make Gridania your first port of call. Next, you'll need to go to Ulda, where Flame General Roban Alden will be addressing the masses in the Royal Promenade. Oh, and it's rumored there's to be a special guest. How exciting. Last but not least, you must make your way to the stateroom in Limsa Laminsa, where Maelstrom Chief Admiral Merlwib Blowfishwin will be giving her address. I'll just call her Meryl Blowfish. The room is accessible via the Admiral's lift. Identify yourself to the sentry, Xanthanel, and he will admit you. Got all that? That is a lot to remember, Tataru. Well, off you go then! Yay! I hope you find the remembrance services suitably educational. I'm sure they will be educational. I suggest visiting the city-states in my prescribed order. Though with your record of impeccable timing and luck, the schedule may well change in favor of your preferred travel plans. Farewell. So, Gridania first. Let's go to Gridania first. Yes. Boing! Okay. Alright. Oh, Gridania. Okay, I see the little sparklies. I know what the sparklies are telling me. Destination. I knowest where mine destination hath taken me.
I lost my son to the calamity. The 3 Seedseers are all together.
Some say you couldn't take a step without stumbling over a body. Our forebears were once strangers in the Twelveswood. Fearful of the green wrath, they hid themselves in the dark recesses of the earth. Yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals, and were granted a place beneath the boughs. So it was that Gridania was born, some 5 centuries ago. Working hand in hand, the Hyur and the Elysian settlers sowed the seeds of our civilization, and soon they were joined by folk of all races. So nourished by the waters of unity, and blessed by the light of the matron, Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today.
Do you see the Gridanian standard? There, hanging behind the Elder Seedseer. The entwined serpents represent the unity between Hyur and Elysian. An elegant symbol, do you not agree?
Sure.
In accordance with the will of the elementals, we have embraced a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves, nor for us. Though we Gridanians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. Ever have we fought to protect the sanctity of the Twelveswood. When the Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the Twin Adder that we might push back the encroaching darkness.
This kid looks like he's scared. That gaze is a little intense to me. I'm a little concerned.
And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat. "5 years ago, the Alliance met the armies of the Empire upon the fields of Cartano. It would prove the bloodiest battle in recent memory. Countless Gridanian lives were lost. As Supreme Commander of the Order of the Twin Adder, ever shall I bear the weight of our people's sacrifice. Alas, their loss was not the only tragedy to befall us that day, for soon came the calamity. The scars borne by our forest are a constant reminder of its violence. Our lives have been irrevocably changed, each waking hour a struggle to survive. Driven to desperation, some among us have strayed from the path of righteousness, resorting to banditry, poaching, and other unconscionable deeds. To compound our woes, the Ixal have returned in force, emboldened by our suffering. They test our defenses nigh without cease, and prey upon the vulnerable. So beleaguered from within and without, it is of little wonder that our unity now falters. Dark times are upon us.
Time was a man could walk the high roads without fear.
On this day, 5 years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please join with me in honoring their memory.
And how do you propose to honor the memory of those you cannot remember, pray tell?
And she kind of has a point.
The destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Eorzean and Garlean alike. Yet while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelveswood. Let none be mistaken. The Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, we must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet harmony is the founding principle of Gridania. We are gathered here to honor the fallen. Let them be honored not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you, join hands with me once more beneath the Twin Adder standard. And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs. For serenity, purity, and sanctity. We must think of the children!
Woods will be done.
It's up to us to protect the forest.
All the elementals!
Good speech. I'm confused by that last little back to the audience thing. But otherwise, yeah. Okay, so these doubting Thomases standing next to me. What's going on with them?
If you'll permit me, Alfino.
Elfino.
And my sister, Alize, at your service. I saw at a glance that you were a fellow traveler.
Yes.
You might call us students of history, sampling the realm's remembrances in pursuit of enlightenment.
Okay. The Gridanians are unfortunate enough to have to contend with two beast tribes. The Ixal are unquestionably the more troublesome, being of a naturally warlike disposition and want to summon their bloodthirsty primal, Garuda. The Sylphs, by contrast, are peaceful in nature, being mischievous rather than malevolent, and have long been on friendly terms with the Gridanians, until recently at least. Alas, they have grown aloof, a change observed at roughly the time they summoned the primal Rama. Rama? The Gridanians have no love for war, and they consider open conflict a last resort. Though they clash with the Ixal ever more regularly, you may be assured that they do so in self-defense. As for the Sylphs, they are as yet bound by a peace treaty, though one wonders how long it will be before it is broken. The Twelveswood was grievously wounded during the calamity, leaving Gridania vulnerable to attack. The people are hopeful that restoring the wood, and thereby the power of the elementals, will put an end to their woes. Yet, how long will that take? Centuries, I wager. Meanwhile, the Ixal will continue their incursions, spurred on by Garuda and her insatiable appetite for destruction. Whether the Gridanians like it or not, sooner or later it will come to all-out war. And when it does, the Order of the Twin Adder will need all the help it can muster. How valuable might the aid of a capable adventurer prove to them then? They may be doubting Thomas's, but they know what's going on. Okay. Let's go to Ulda. Ulda. Let us go. Okay. Let's try that again. Okay. Oh, it's in the middle of that crazy round thing. Oh, see, this guy is like the male equivalent of... Gosh, they are so much bigger than I am. Alright. Well, let's see. I need to go that way. Itinerant Moogle. Alright, how do I get... I need to get in there. In the place where things happen. The place of places. Oh look, they're having a dance party. The steps of Thal. Okay. Okay, so I'm guessing it's somewhere above or below. Here. Let's do this. Are there up or down? Up is there. Down is here. Should I go up, 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 up? Oh, they have presents. They're dressed. They're dressed for the holidays. They look cute. Okay. Sorry, they're just really cute. It's hard to tell what level things are on. Should I go downstairs? No. Yeah, this is a very confusing area. I'll figure it out though. You Baya. I'm gonna kill them to station me a few yalms closer to the action. Gods forbid I actually get to enjoy the tourney even after all my hard work. Cool. Alright, so... Wasn't there like an elevator somewhere? Okay, no. Why are the littly ones so darn cute? What? What are you looking at? Nothing. Okay. Yeah, I get why people get really frustrated and confused at this area. No, I don't really want to exit. I guess I'll just have to wander a bit. Was this where I came from? I think. Up. Okay. No. Here. I think that's where I came from. Ah, up, maybe? The hustings strip. Okay, that is not the Royal Promenade. Can I just be like, excusez-moi, where is the Royal Promenade? Ah, here we go. Destination. There we go.
Behold, 'tis the Sultana Nanimo herself!
And Roban as well!
Hark you, souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore. Hurrah! Roban! Where since antiquity, under the sage and judicious rule of the Ul dynasty, we have wrought sand into gold. Where by the grace and glory of Naldal have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered. I speak of Ul'dah!
It's
There,
them again.
At the Flame General's back flies the Grand Company's standard.
Justice.
Note the sigil. The golden scales of order balance the jewel of prosperity with the flame of might.
Okay.
Great and many are the gifts our nation has given the realm.
This guy's intense.
In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Cartano, none spent more in blood and gold than we. Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low.
So that's how it happened. How soon history forgets.
Yet many left our gates, never to return. Let us pray for our absent brothers and sisters, that they might know happiness in the great beyond, as Thal's honored guests.
This guy back here looks very surfer dude.
If the fates were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but 5 years into this 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden and enthralled? Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous? I ask you, is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save? You who call this living, dishonor the name of the immortal flames. It is but a slow death.
Okay.
Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Amalja wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade. Meanwhile, the Garleans make mock of our borders and despoil our land of its natural wealth. We stand on a precipice, yet we do not act.
She is so tiny and cute.
Whether trader or soldier, monetarist or royalist, all must recognize that a divided Ul'dah stands to fall. Victory and fortune walk hand in hand. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond. Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth. In the name of the Sultana, I beseech you. Line not your own coffers, but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Ul'dah, but to restore her to prosperity. As the realm prospers, so shall Ul'dah. As Ul'dah prospers, so shall her people.
Ja for Ul'dah!
Together we are one.
Your Grace.
Raoban? People of Ul'dah, I, Nanamo, 17th in the line of Ul, address you. Much has been made of the wealth of Ul'dah. Yet those who measured that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people.
I can't disagree with that. That's a pretty good way of putting it.
Beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Ul'dah, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Eorzea to see.
Long live Nanamo!
Glory to the Sultana!
For victory and fortune, stride fearless into the inferno, for we are, by fire, reborn! Forsooth!
The time is now!
I fancy meeting you again.
I think these people are following me. The Uldans have a long history of conflict with the Amalja, the beast tribe that worships the primal Ifrit. Judging by your look of distaste, I take it you have encountered them. And defeated them. Heh. The Uldans do not shy from confrontation. If aught threatens their precious prosperity, they will seek to crush it. So they have dealt with Ifrit thus far, smothering his flames each time he is stoked to life. Yet he is but one of several problems. Though they have been quiet these past 5 years, the Garleans have not gone away. Meanwhile, refugees continue to arrive in droves, and Ul'dah has no clear policy on how to deal with them. After all, not even the Sultanate's coffers are bottomless, and even assuming they had the coin, resources will never be finite. Which brings me back to the subject of Ifrit. It has been observed that the Amalja are summoning him with ever-increasing frequency. Every time they do so, the Uldans send their forces to smite the primal, And though they invariably succeed, each victory is bought with blood. It is a war of attrition which they cannot well sustain. Small wonder, then, that the immortal flames are eager to recruit more members. At such a desperate hour, an adventurer of your experience would be a most welcome addition to their ranks. Interesting. Alright. The stateroom at Limsa Lominsa. Okay, there's a few other places here. Wait, I'm gonna look at this real quick. Dravinia. Okay, there's a few places I have not yet been. Okay. Limsa Lominsa. Let us go there. Limsa Lominsa. Okay. So the stateroom. And where am I? Okay. There am I. So I just need to go that a ways. The Bulwark Hall. Storm Sergeant. Here to attend the Remembrance Service. Be quick, the Admiral is due to give her address at any moment. Yes. Okay.
The Garleans are another matter altogether.
So much for our alliance.
It's sunk beyond the seabed.
Ah, yes, I remember her.
Brothers and sisters of the sea, hearken unto me. Look upon this, our mighty crimson standard, and tell me your hearts do not swell with pride.
Sure. Okay. It's very Viking looking.
700 summers have come and gone since our forefathers first ran aground in this fertile bay. In that time, guided by the Mother of Oceans, Limsa Lominsa has grown from humble fishing village to uncontested ruler of the 5 seas and beyond.
Did you look as the Admiral bid you? It is a rather stirring standard, I must say. The Crimson Field is meant to signify the blood of fallen crewmates, while the Black Longship represents a pirate vessel.
Why does this guy feel like he's like some obnoxious kid who goes to some British boarding school? Like it's a little weird.
When the Garlean Empire marched upon Eorzea, we assembled beneath the Maelstrom Standard, and our grand company was reborn. All answered the call, from the Knights of the Barracuda to Hilthier's bloody executioners, and together we met our would-be conquerors upon the field of Cartano. That day, the world bore witness to the united strength of Limsa Lominsa. I swear to you, no army ever fought harder or with more courage, yet many of ours did not survive. Join me now in remembering those who fought in the name of freedom and fell. May their souls be returned to the sea.
Freedom. Yes, they have always been rather fond of their freedom. Much as the beast tribes have. Small wonder. Beneath the surface, one would struggle to tell them apart.
It has been 5 long years since the calamity struck. 5 long years of tireless rebuilding. Yet still the wounds of the calamity fester and weep. But when I stand atop the mizzenmast and gaze out upon our battered and broken vessel, I see an undying spirit. Did we not build all this from the wreck of the Galadian all those centuries ago? Shall we not do so again? Yet there are those who would see this ship of ours sink beneath the waves of the restless Rotano. The Sahagin creep ashore seeking blood for their accursed god.
Those fishback
The Sahagin have risen?
While the mines of Ogomoro spew forth kobolds who push ever south, despoiling our lands as they go. These savage beast tribes will be the first waves to crash against our creaking hull. And behind them swells the grim tide of the Garlean Empire. Even now, the curs fly their flags within our borders. Doubt not, but that they will be upon us ere long. We are well nigh surrounded. Yet there are those among us who would rather turn their swords against their crewmates than our cannons against our foes. How can we hope to repel our many enemies when mutiny breeds below deck? There is but one course left to us. One bearing that will bring us victory over the beast hordes and the Empire both, and see this ship safe to port. We must mend the rift the calamity has reopened twixt pirate and maelstrom, and stand fast with our adventurer brothers against the coming tempest. Mark ye well, a crew without unity is no crew at all. 'Tis but a mass of drowned men. To me, then, brothers and sisters of the sea, gather beneath the undying crimson standard, and pledge me your strength, your skill, your wisdom. And with the guidance of the navigator, this great vessel of ours shall ride the waves, till sea swallows all!
Long live the Admiral!
Gather the lads!
Oh, where's me cutlass?
I'll follow ye to the 7 hells, Admiral!
Where's me cutlass?
Fancy meeting you again.
Okay. As the Admiral mentioned in her address, Limsa Lominsa is plagued by 2 beast tribes. The first are the fish-like Sagahin, worshippers of the primal Leviathan. The second are the kobolds, who dwell beneath the earth and take the primal Titan for their god. As if the beast tribe's presence weren't troublesome enough, the Garleans have also chosen to erect a fortress right in the Lominsans' backyard. And that is to say naught of internal strife. As a nation of pirates, there is no end to the blood feuds between the various factions. And while they fight amongst themselves, the Garleans whet their blades and watch. If the Lominsans are to have any hope of withstanding the Empire, they must first resolve their own affairs. Differences must be set aside, and the primal threat dealt with once and for all. To this end, I expect that they will soon take decisive action, not divisive, against the beast tribes. Mark my word, the Maelstrom standard will be drenched a deeper shade of crimson ere long. That a capable adventurer like you would be a valuable addition to their crew is beyond question. But will you sail with the Admiral? Aspen, this is Minfilia. You are well, I hope. Would I be correct in thinking that the final remembrance service has now concluded? A moment ago, you say? What a coincidence. Jesting aside, I trust you remember our guests from the Grand Companies. Well, delighted though we are to have them here at the Waking Sands, it would not do to keep them in suspense any longer than necessary. In short, hurry back. Okay. Report to Minfilia in the Walking Sands. Get lost in our dark catacombs and wake up in the basement coffin. We promise a night you'll never forget if you leave at all. Interesting. Interesting. So I need to go back to Fenlan. Fenlan. So much teleportation. I didn't set a home point. Western Fenland. The Waking Sands. And where am I? I am in a place of placiness. Am I right there? Yes, I am. Okay. La 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 la. Chocobo. No, I can't take that one. Isn't there another Chocobo keep? Okay. Yes. Hire a Chocobo porter. Vesper Bay. Yes. Let us go for a ride.
Hello there.
Hey, Mac, how you doing? I hope you've been having a good day. Alright, let's see. Yeah, the snow is a never-ending problem, Mac. It's a thing, alright? But, it's not too bad today. It could be a lot worse. Hello, Tataru. Tataru. Yes. Enter. And I think there might be a... Yes. Okay, I've got a choice to make. I feel like today's stream is less about fulfilling some more action-y objectives, more dealing with politics. Welcome back, Aspen. Were the Grand Company leader's words as illuminating as you had hoped? Aye, each nation is beset with problems. I trust you see now why your services are in such demand. Would that there be more of you, Aspen. I mean, I can make other accounts, probably. But you must be tired from your journey. Why don't you rest a while, and take a moment to reflect on your decision? Once your mind is made up, pray give the Grand Company officers your answer. I have a humidifier for my bedroom, but I do not have one for my office, for the library.
The gods only know what Grand Company our adventurer friend will keep. The wheels of change are in motion regardless.
Brother, are you certain this course is best?
Whatever do you mean, dear sister?
Yeah, whatever do you mean?
The so-called
I'm good, thank you.
remembrance ceremonies were little more than standard waving rallies. As though the Calamity and Seventh Umbral Era warranted scarcely a mention.
Well, of course they were standard waving rallies. Since you are so observant, mayhap you noticed what mention was made of the Warriors of Light? None.
Interesting to point out.
I suppose they must have forgotten the heroes who spared Eorzea a fate worse than the Calamity? No, dear Alisaie, they haven't forgotten these details. They have elected to omit them. Deep are the wounds the Calamity inflicted upon Eorzea. So deep, in fact, that the realm still bleeds. Needless to say, the beast tribes and their primals do little to alleviate the pain. So, the task of salving Eorzea's wounds falls to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, with a little help from our friends, the Grand Companies. Remembrance will yield no remedy. If our world is to heal, we must put the horrors of the Calamity behind us.
Our grandfather would never entrust the fate of the...
Yeah, to despots, yeah. No, you're right.
There must be another way to cure what ails this world, and I mean to find it.
You are most welcome to try. Our paths may differ, but our destination is the same. In time, I dare say we will see eye to eye.
I should hope so.
My lady!
We are to escort you!
Hope does not come into it. We share the burden of this fate, dear sister, and will prevail together or not at all. The salve will serve not only to close up our present wounds, but prevent old ones from opening anew.
Okay. Alpi is so rude. Yeah. Yeah, a little, comes across as a little arrogant, I'd say. There's gonna be an ad break in just a moment, so we will take a break here before I make any choice. I have thoughts. Storm Officer, Flame Officer, Serpent Officer. Okay. So Serpent is... the foresty area. Flame is the more deserty area. And Storm is the ship area. The boaty boat area. Okay. Interesting. Huh. Well... Oh, I'm sorry. A little bit sleepy today. Here. Ad break's coming up. Here, let me do this. Let me just do loading screen. And I'll turn off the music. Ad break. Ad break. I shall make my decision when ads are over. Yay. And I'll be right back. Again. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I went downstairs briefly to check on Human Mother, and she fell asleep watching TV. She's so cute. She's all curled up in a blanket on the couch. It's so adorable. All right, let's see. I think what I'm going to do is go with our flame friend. Welcome back, adventurer. I take it General Raban's words kindled a fire within you. Join the immortal flames. Yes. Excellent. I feared that the incident with the traitor may have soured your opinion of us. It gladdens me to see that isn't the case. If anything, you need somebody who is loyal to help counteract the problems caused by the traitor, right? But before we can count on you as one of our own, you must be formally inducted into our ranks. All right. Please proceed to the Hall of Flames in Ulda's Merchant Strip and identify yourself as to the personnel officer. I'll notify him of your coming. With your strength joined to ours, we shall surely prevail over our enemies, be they beastmen or Imperials. Quest accepted. I shalleth accept thine quest of questing. Alright, so... Alright, back to the not difficult part to handle in Ul'dah. Yes. Alright. I might play for half an hour longer. I definitely am a little tired today. Exit to Vesper Bay. It was definitely hard to wake up this morning. I wanted to stay in my nice cozy bed. I think the sun going down at 4 is really, you know, it's a lot to deal with. And it makes me very, very sleepy. I was talking at my to my coworker at the Dragon Doctor's office, and she was telling me that her son had he wanted to go to bed at 6:30 last night. And she's like, no, it's only 6:30. And he was like, what? It's 6:30? How's that possible? I'm so tired. And then when, like, 8 o'clock hit, he's like, can I go to bed now? And she said, yes, you can go to bed. He was like, oh, okay, perfect. It took too long. Yeah, seeing human mother sleeping made me sleepy, for sure. She just looked so cute, all wrapped up in her little blankie. Actually, it's a big blanket. It's a huge down comforter. That woman made sure she'd be warm. Although falling asleep on the couch, it's colder downstairs than it is upstairs, so, you know, I don't know. This area right here, it makes me think of the episode of Violet Evergarden where she goes to that school where she has to help out the, I guess they studied astronomy or something? Can't quite remember. Okay. Oh, that's right. We have to go way further than this place. Chocobo Keep. Chocobo Keep! To me! Yes. Hire Chocobo. Take me to Ul'dah! Yes. Yes, seeing human mother made me do this. La 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 da dum da dum dum dum. Here we go. She looked very cozy, and it made me sleepy. I've already done that, Fate. Do I really have to do it again? No. Hammerly. Hello. I would rather ride on a giant tortoise. I think that would be fun. Probably not on a cactar, because that would be painful, but a giant tortoise, yes. Alrighty, there we go. Okay, so I need to head that way. I can turn this off, I'll figure it out. It's really pretty, like, yeah. I think Ulda is really interesting looking. Even though it's a little, confusing. Alright. I think this is where I need to be. Yes, it is. Okay. What brings you to the Hall of Flames this evening, adventurer? My name is Aspen Dracaena. I believe you are expecting me. Or I am here to enlist if you'll have me. The first one. Ah, I thought as much. You are just as our man in the Walking Sands described. It is an honor to meet you, madam. Now, in order to formalize your... Sir. Speak private. Imperials, sir. They fired on a high-wind Skyways airship. Scouts say she's coming down to the west near the horizon's edge. Bloody hells of all the times for this to happen. Aspen, there's no time for formalities. The Immortal Flames need your help now. Oh, do you? We're in the midst of a large-scale operation against the Amalja, and we have no one to spare in Western Thanlan. You must get to that ship before the Garleans do. If there are any survivors, see that they do not come to further harm. Now go. Alrighty. So many things to do. Alright. Horizon's Edge. Alright, so I'm down here. Immortal Flames. Okay. Let us be off. I think I'll do one more MSQ. And then I'll probably sign off for the night. So I have something really exciting happening in a couple weeks. One of my VTuber friends is going to come and stay with me for a few days. So I'm really excited about that. I think, you know, one of the things about being a streamer is you get to know people, but you don't necessarily get to see them in person all that much. So it's really exciting to be able to have somebody come to visit. And I'm sure they will tell you how absolutely crazy the snow is here. But yeah, it's going to be really fun. I'm so looking forward to it. I'm not going to say who it is because I want it to be a surprise. What the heck is that? What is that? If I jump, I'll probably fall and get injured. I'm sure of it. Okay, so I have to go around. Yeah, it does look like a whale. That's what I was thinking too. I think that's where I'm heading, actually. Ah, it's the airship. That is the airship. It did look like a gigantic whale. Interesting. Level sync. Proceed. Alright, let's get this task done. Sorry. Oh my gosh, you're right. The ship designers do need some fashion sense. Okay. We have to be very quiet. An adventurer? What are you doing out here? No, wait. Let's find some cover first. The Immortal Flame sent you? How do I know you're not an Imperial spy? You don't even have a uniform. Well, yeah, because they sent me before they inducted me. Are you all right, sir? Our scouts reported the attack on your craft. We've come to rescue you. Aspen Dracaena, yes? Glad to have you with us. See, they vouched for me, sir. Aren't you embarrassed? I have not seen a craft of this design before. Yeah, because it looks like a dead whale. That traitor Garland has been busy. The secrets of Magitech are ours by right. They are not to be squandered upon the savages of this land. We are taking this craft back to the fortress. Dismantle it if you must, and bring the engineer. Someone must pay for Garland's crimes. No, leave little friend alone. They mean to take the ship back to Castrum Meridianum. Meridianum? Meridianum. That seems to make sense. Along with your friend. Wedge. You have to help him. That fool of a Lalafell was hiding inside the tiny Bronco. Nice looking ship, though not the best place to have taken shelter, I agree. It's the first airship we've built since the Calamity. The first since Master Garland, well, since he went missing. After years of work, she was finally ready for her first test flight. And she was soaring, she really was, till those bastards blasted her out of the sky. We attack on my command. Kill them quickly, and save the Lalafell if possible. Is that clear, Aspen? Show them what becomes of those who play with fire. Charge! All right, let's take them down. go. This one. Okay. Right. I feel like this guy needs to be taken down first because he's a little, What the, huh? Okay, Magitech Vanguard. Can I do something stronger? Swift cast. Summon Emerald Outburst. Okay. I can't use that one yet. This is gonna take forever. But that's okay. You okay, dude? This random moving around it has is a little weird. Like that. Okay. Where's the rest of the bad guys? There we go. There we go. What happened to the little one? Biggs! Wedge. You shouldn't have stayed with the his name is Biggs, because he's big. You shouldn't have stayed with the ship. That was a close one. Too damn close. So how's she look anyway? The auxiliary propeller is a dead loss, but I think we can wring enough thrust from the main propeller to get us airborne. A few minor modifications and we should be able to fly the tiny Bronco home. The Imperials will come some blah, 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 blah. You should go, Aspen. Biggs and Wedge, a classic. You should go, Aspen. You still have unfinished business to attend to at the Hall of Flames. Yeah, I mean, the names are so obvious. Biggs for somebody big, Wedge for somebody who's tiny, like a little piece, a wedge of something, like a wedge of cheese. You're not quite one of us yet, though anyone who'd seen you in action today would be forgiven for thinking otherwise. I, just want to say sorry, you know, for calling you an Imperial spy and all that. Got that one wrong, didn't I? Haha. Seriously, though, if it hadn't been for you and the Immortal Flames lads there, we'd be chained up in a dungeon by now. I'm in your debt, friend. We both are. Wedge is very cute, I have to say. Although a little Oompa Loompa-esque. Wedge. Thank you, we're very grateful. Cool. Alright. Swarms of midges. Swarms. Absolute swarms. Alright, so time to return. Oh, I should go this way. So I can get on the bridge. Wait, was the bridge this way? I think so. Run. Oh, what is going on here? Oh, hey, Rayo. How you doing? Level sync? Okay, let's fight some guys. Okay. Alright, and then... more. Okay. These guys are so, like, I don't know. The desert pests or pests or... I'm fine. How's Best Icy Bookworm? I am good. I'm a little tired. I'm probably going to finish up soon. But, yeah, I'm good. I'm just, you know, working on leveling up. I don't think I leveled up much this stream because there weren't a lot of fighting tasks to do. It felt more like it was diplomatic tasks, I'd say. But it would be nice to level up more. Okay, cool. Fate completed. Let us go back to where we need to go and join the flames. How are you doing, Rayo? I hope you're well. It's really funny. So, I often, when I am at the Dragon Doctor's office, I bring my tablet with me. And I will, sometimes what I do is I will, you know, turn on people's streams for friends who, you know, I can't always give my full attention because I'm often pulled away to help with patients or answer phone calls and stuff. But I always try to watch my friends' streams who stream during the day. So a lot of times that means is I'll watch I'll put on Ocha's streams or Sunny's streams and you know, other people who are pretty cool, just so I could give a view and, you know, check on everybody and see how they're doing. So, you know, I can't always participate in conversations in chat, but I always try to at least give people a view. And you know, I usually can't have the volume on very loud because there's other stuff going on in the office. But yeah, I always try to stop and say hello. Lurkers are the backbone. Yeah, you're right. I do not mind being somebody who, you know, lurks and adds some views so you can get some income from that. Welcome back, Aspen. Word of your deeds in the field reached me not long ago. Exemplary service. Rest assured that the Garland Ironworks engineers are fine. They were able to get their vessel back in the air before Imperial reinforcements arrived. Your willingness to assist us on such short notice is to be commended. Clearly, your reputation is well deserved. Now then, I believe we have some unfinished business. Oh, hey, Clove. Shall we continue from where we left off and induct you into the immortal flames? Yes. Keep complete. Yay. Okay, I am inducted, I suppose. Okay. Here. Emotes. Here. Wait. There we go. I love how when I wave, it looks like I'm like going in people's faces. I'm like, hello? Are you there? Okay. Let's see. Let's get the next task set up. The personnel officer stands ready to complete your induction into the ranks. Cool. Are you ready, Aspen? Then let us begin. I shall be inducted. Aspen Dracaena, you stand poised to enter a sacred trust. The flames of Ul'dah burn bright, casting light where there is dark and purging evil wheresoever it lurks. We are ever ready to meet the nation's enemies in battles, be they beastmen, Garleans, or worse. Female Aura have the grandest emotes. And at a word from Flame General Rabban Alden, we would gladly lay down our lives to maintain the peace and prosperity of Ul'dah. To join our ranks, you must forsake all other nations. Blah, 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 blah. Burn as one of us, Aspen Dracaena, and together we shall chase the darkness from Ul'dah. I think it's funny that I'm an ice dragon and I've joined the flames. I like the irony of that. Will you swear an oath to mark this occasion? My sword belongs to Ul'dah. What skills I have belongs now to Ul'dah. I will follow the Flame General unto death. That's a little dramatic. Maybe I'll just do... My sword belongs to... I don't use a sword? Wait, what skill... Here, let's do this. What skills I have now belong to Ul'dah. I am not a sword bearer. That sounds good. And Ul'dah will have need of them in the days ahead. The knowledge and experience of well-traveled adventurers are valuable assets. Alrighty. Very well. Your resolve is plain. Aspen Dracaena, I hereby confer upon you the rank of Flame Private 3rd Class. 3rd Class. Okay. I'll accept it. Welcome to the Immortal Flames Private. May you fight to the last for coin and country. Here's the reason why I joined the Flames. Because I'm an ice dragon, these people are probably very hot out there on the field. They probably need some ice to cool them off so they can have cool heads and work as a team. Right? Logic? It makes sense, right? I think it makes sense. There we go. And if they need, they may melt it to hydrate in the deserts of them. Right? Right. I am an easy source of hydration. Can you hear me, Aspen? This is Minfilia. An officer of the Immortal Flames contacted me with the news of your enlistment. My congratulations, Private Dracaena. I have no doubt that you are eager to make the acquaintance of your new comrades, but I would ask that you pay a visit to your old ones first. Remember, though you are now a flame of Ul'dah, you are no less a scion. Pray return to the Waking Sands at your earliest convenience. There are some friends here whom I would very much like you to meet. We shall be waiting. It seems your presence is required elsewhere. But before you leave, perhaps you could find a moment to speak with Commander Swift. He is not one to see the new recruits go into the field unprepared. I guess they have some gearing up for me to do. You may now accept the quest, My Little Chocobo Immortal Flames, by speaking with Swift. Do I get a chocobo of my own? This quest must be completed in order to proceed to the end of the main scenario for A Realm Reborn. Okay. Light my fire. Nice. Okay. Delivery missions unlocked. Nice. Okay. Cool, cool. Grand companies. You are now a member of a grand company and have been assigned to the rank of Private Third Class. Your grand company and rank can be confirmed at any time under the Profile tab in the Character interface under Character in the main menu. Grand companies pay their members not in gil, but in company seals. You can confirm how many seals are currently in your possession under the currency in the main menu. Okay. Seals can be earned by completing various Grand Company missions. A Grand Company quartermaster is stationed at each Grand Company headquarters and will exchange items for company seals. Company seals are only redeemable with the Grand Company that issued them. Okay. So it's like when you work for a mining town and you get credits that can only be used at the mining town to buy supplies. Supply and provisioning Supply and provisioning missions. All right. The Grand Companies of Erzea are in constant need of supplies and provisions to maintain their daily operations. Adventurers can earn experience points and company seals by crafting or gathering the items required and delivering them. Speak to a Grand Company personnel officer or one of the many officers stationed throughout the realm to complete the delivery. Items sought can change every day, Earth time. They can be confirmed by selecting timers located under Duty in the main menu. Okay. Cool. La da do da da. So, I have things going on. So, I do have to go to the Waking Sands. I do have the Flame Commander dude to talk to about the My Little Chocobo quest. Yes. Thank you, Clove! Yes. Okay. So, here, let us do this. I am going to go to the Waking Sands. I don't even need this. I know exactly where I'm going. You're heading to bed. Have a good night. Oh, thank you. You too. I hope you sleep well, Shark Effects. Okay. So, I'm gonna do is head out. I'm gonna go over to the Waking Sands. I'm sure this is just a conversation that I'm gonna be having, so I think it's a good place to start the next stream. But I want to get over there first, so I am not wholly distracted once I start playing the next the next stream. Although, I don't know, I may come back and play a little bit more, but Panda convinced me to download Lord of the Rings, The Battle for Middle-earth. And I want to take a look at that this weekend. So... Boing! Am I like totally going the wrong way? La 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 la. It's out there. Okay, wait, hang on. Where am I in comparison? It's not showing me, but I don't, yeah, I'm going the wrong way. Because where I need to be is over that way, I believe. Yeah, I took a wrong turn. This does not look familiar at all. Kerboing. They'll all leave me alone. Ah, see, I know what I did. I know what I did. I need to cross over there at that bridge, I believe. I was just trying to avoid the fates because I want to get where I'm going. Boing. Boing. Okay. And then you go over this way. See, just a slight diversion. That was not bad. 'Twas but a diversion. Was nothing but a there. Okay. La -da 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 -dum. See, yes, this is where I was meant to go. I've already done that fate. No, thank you. I want to go where I'm going. I have no time to waste, for I'm quite tired. There we go. Here we are. Just a little stroll. So yeah, here, let's see. Over here, where's the chocobo? Where is thine chocobo? Let me hire the chocobo to take me there. It'll be faster. I have the coinage. Chocobo keep. Oh, holy chocobo keep, where is thine wisdom? Yes. Vesper Bay, yes. Easier. Okay. Yeah, so I haven't really gained enough experience points to actually gain any levels this time around, but I got some storyline stuff done. You know, we got some storytelling done, and we joined a company, so that's pretty cool. Zoom, 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 zoom. Okay. I'm gonna leave it here then. So, let's exit. Log out and exit, yes. Oh, that's the first time I've seen a countdown. But if it needs a countdown, then countdown it is. Okay. Alright. There we go. Alright, so let's see. Who can we raid into? It counts down if you're not... Oh, in town or near an Etherite. Got it. Got it. Okay. Alright. Let's raid into somebody. Let's see. Who is streaming right now? Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Alright, let's go say hi to Panda. Let's say hello to him.
Yes, you did tell me this story.
Okay. So, raid. When in doubt, always. Oh, hey, Paz! I am just finishing my stream. I hope you're doing well too. Let's see. Panda. Hero. Yeah, so Panda was playing some Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth earlier, and I think switched over to Power Wash Simulator. So we'll just go say hi to him. As I mentioned before, he convinced me to download Battle for Middle-earth in order to see if we can play together. So I'm going to be looking at that this weekend. And I may, yeah, I'll see what happens this weekend. But yes, next week. Oh, don't worry. No worries. I was lurking. I'm doing well. Just trying to write down lessons for exams. Oh, exams. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope you have a lot of good luck with the exams. I'll be wishing you well. All right. You're welcome, Mac. It's so nice to see you come by, and actually it's nice to see everybody come by. So, okay, so let's go raid Panda. Have a good night.